this podcast, we would like to talk about domestic abuse.
Domestic abuse is the intentional harm of a person's mental or physical state. This is seen all over the world.
Here to talk about this issue, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Zoe.
With the info that will last.
This is Bravescast.
For our first segment, we would like to talk about the statistics of domestic abuse.
Many people think that domestic abuse only happens to women, but it happens to both genders.
According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, about 0.8 million men are physically assaulted by a partner annually.
This number is increased for women. 1 in 4 women experience domestic abuse in their lifetime.
Men and women are both greatly affected by abuse crimes, and one should be able to recognize the signs of an abuser.
Now we would like to talk about the different signs of domestic abuse.
The easiest symbols to recognize are the bruises and other physical marks.
These physical signs, however, are not the only ways to recognize an abuser or their victim.
Abusers tend to be jealous, have controlling behaviors, and isolate their partners, says the organization New Hope for Women.
Other signs may include unrealistic expectations, cruelty to animals or children, and a dual personality. But not every person that shows these behaviors is an abuser.
These manners are only a potential sign.
There are other types of abuse that a person can inflict on their partner. For our last segment, we would like to talk about the different types of abuse and what gender is more likely to cause them.
Physical and mental abuse are two different types of domestic violence.
Physical abuse is when unwanted contact is made between two people.
This can include, but it is not limited to, biting, hitting, pushing, and scratching. Women are more often physically abused compared to men.
This happens because women seem more vulnerable than men. That doesn't mean that men aren't abused physically.
Males are more often physically assaulted by other men than by women.
A person does not have to be touched to be abused. This issue goes beyond the bumps and bruises that are associated with domestic abuse.
Harmful words can leave a victim feeling worse than if they were physically hit. Many people don't understand that words can hurt. You should watch what you say to a person because it can affect them more than you think.
Mental abuse is common in male victims, while females are more often targeted physically. Today we talked about the truth behind domestic abuse.
This is a very important topic that shouldn't be brushed under the rug.
Domestic abuse comes in different forms and is shown in many different ways.
An individual can be abused mentally and physically by both men and women.
Despite the stereotypes, both genders partake in the abuse of others.
Women are more prone to mentally abuse another with words, while men tend to get physical.
Statistics have shown that over 2 million people are mentally or physically abused annually.
It's tragic to think about how many individuals are affected by these actions, but we need to stay positive.
We need to do what we can to prevent future occurrences by noticing the signs and keeping away from potential abusers.
If you or a friend needs help with an abuser, contact your state's designated agency for investigating abuse reports.
Abuse is illegal. Don't stand by and let it happen. Thank you for listening to what we have to say on this issue.
We would like to thank the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence for providing information, as well as the National Institute of Justice.
We would also like to thank the organization New Hope for Women for providing information on behaviors of abusers.
Tune in next time.
We're the twins that got the spin.
With the news that will last.
This is Bravescast.